Just a few fellas on a podcast, riffing in the pitching jokes and sharing some laughs. Rob Ryan, Pedro, Jerry Bernstein. Ooh, they want to know if it's something, if it's anything. Often featuring Leedy Corbin. Jarret, did you get a haircut?
I did get a haircut.
All right.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah.
This might be our best episode yet.
So last night we tried to play some Call of Duty and there was an update and it put us on this new map called WMD.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like genuinely curious. Hey, do you know what WMD stands for, Leedy? And she actually didn't know. Like she's beyond that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, it stands for We Mess. And I couldn't think of something. And then she said DUP. And it made me laugh so hard. Because it was so encompassing of the whole Iraq war and the search for WMDs.
And it also feels like something that George W. Bush would say.
Yes.
You know?
Well, I gotta apologize to everybody about those WMDs. Now I say they mean we
messed up.
We messed up.
Guys, that's really not fair. He has a stutter. That's why he kept saying things wrong. And honestly, if you're going to make fun of someone with a stutter, then fuck you.
Okay, so his stutter made him choose dumb words. That was his stutter.
Well, people are trying to convince me that Joe Biden's stutter causes him to fuck up almost every sentence he says out of his mouth. And not just with a but with like absolutely wrong words, wrong countries. And I'm like, that's not a stutter.
Does that happen?
Hey, we're in a recession. He has a stutter.
All the clips that I've seen of him, I'm like, that seems like the mistake a stutterer would make. I haven't seen these meltdowns where he's saying the wrong country or whatever.
He said the wrong country in the State of the Union. So that was my latest.
He said, ladies and gentlemen of Ukraine, welcome.
I don't care about these little gaffes. But
the state of our French Union is strong. Sorry, Rob.
No, yeah. I don't care about little like words and gaffes and little blah 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 blahs. But I don't know. I think it's a bit of a reach sometimes. I'm like, that's not a stutter. Like it's bizarre. And when I'm being told what to think, I'm like, no, that's not. I know what a stutter is. I've had a stutter for a long time when I was younger. And I mean, I'm not saying that everyone is equal or the same or it manifests the same way. I was like, I don't think so. And I have a memory. I know when Joe Biden was a little bit better with his everything.
He's old. So. There's definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that we need to put that in the maybe pile. You know,
you can call me ageist.
Step.
You're not gonna call me ableist, but I might be ageist.
One of the things that was kind of eye-opening to me was to look back at something during the time of George Bush's presidency, where everybody was like, I mean, the constant joke was he's an idiot. And there's now when I look at things a little bit more like, no, everything I thought I knew through the extremely liberal lens is not necessarily how it actually is. And now that I examine things a little bit more, the fool me once, shame on me is if you accidentally mess that up and realize it, it's a brilliant save. And that was like the go-to thing to make fun of him.
I like that.
There were hundreds, though. There were so many things.
There were
like
so many, but that one in particular, I'm like, that is a great save. Like that was a very funny save.
I don't think so. Yes.
Fool me once, shame on me.
No, did he say fool me twice, shame on you? Right?
No. That's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fool me once. He went fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, well, you're not gonna fool me again. That's so funny. Realizing you messed up and being like, hey, you can't fool me. That is hilarious.
Don't you get it, Jarret? He wasn't going to be fooled twice. The expression fooled him once, and the expression wasn't going to fool him again.
I respectfully disagree. Every time I look back at something George W. Bush said, I always go, wow, this really was a slow descent for Republican presidents, a slow descent into complete idiocy.
I'm not arguing anything other than this one particular point. If any non-funny person would say, "Fool me once, shame on me." No, I'm sorry. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah.
That is what but a funny person would go, "Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, I'm not getting fooled again." Like that's a hilarious save.
I disagree. Are you saying that he did that like, I'm going to be funny here, as opposed to I have no idea how this expression ends?
That I think is somebody realizing they said it wrong and then having a funny out.
Here's what I'm going to do. When I edit this episode, I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm going to do 2 reactions. One where Brett's right and one where I think Brett's wrong. All right?
Well, as long as now you're getting the actual, like, if you're going to really pull up the footage, I have this memory of him going, I think he does say you, but he doesn't remember why it's you. He was like, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Ain't gonna get fooled again," or something like that. Like that's kind of what it was at. Basically, like I saw it as like well, forget that. The point is, I'm not getting fooled again. I thought he did say the word "you," but he was very unsure if that was the right word. He's like, "Shame on." Like, do I have the right pronoun here? You?
Well, then maybe I'm remembering it wrong. But if it's the way that I remember it, then it is, I think, definitely a funny moment and not him being an idiot. I'm not arguing that he's not an idiot. I'm arguing that moment was somebody being funny. And I do think he's a little funny.
Okay, well,
I think he's a little funny too, yeah.
Here is the clip right here.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again."
And now Brett was right about it. Hey,
Looks
like Brett, it really looks like it.
Hey,
Really looks like it. You're right, man.
Yeah.
And here's where Brett's wrong. That guy's not an idiot, really? Really? You think that was him being funny?
I'd vote him in again if I could.
Can we do one where the wording that I think might be it? Is it?
Is or isn't?
Is it? Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
Rob, you
you were
remembered
right.
that
Yeah,
perfectly,
right.
Rob. That is impressive.
I wasn't 100% sure, but I'm glad I got vindicated there. That's
It
cool.
goes all the way in facts, right?
All right, now one where I put a clip that has nothing to do with George Bush whatsoever.
Oh,
Wow.
I
That's
think I
nice.
proved my point.
And it is very nice.
All right. Who's got something for the catch up? Anybody got anything going on? What's up, everybody? How we living?
I got a thing going on,
Ooh.
but everyone here has probably heard about it because I've been spamming everyone with it.
Ooh, I don't know.
but-
I don't know what this is.
A couple months ago, I entered in a competition to be on 500,000 cartons of iced tea for my art to be on 500,000 cartons of iced tea. And yesterday, I found out I was a finalist. It's me and 9 other people.
Fuck
And
those 9 other people.
Yeah.
Fuck you, 9 people. I don't know who you are. I don't like you one bit.
It's just Leedy.
Yeah.
Rob,
it's funny
Kirsten
you
says I
guys would
can't
do
fuck
that.
9 people anymore. So
It's
I
funny
wish I
you would
could.
say that because one of the other artists, it must be that her friend is this one guy because he's doing that on every single post. He's going, "Nope, not this one, not even close."
I love how petty. Super petty.
But 25% of the vote is determined by most likes on social media posts.
Oh,
So
gosh.
I
hate
am
that.
on it.
I'm campaigning
sucks.
for that.
And I'm going to get my foreign click farms on this as well. So do not worry your
Oh, man.
pretty little head.
I mean, I explained with competition stuff like this, as soon as it's not 100% the numbers that everybody can see publicly, those numbers don't matter at all. Because if you're going to go, it's 25% this person's opinion and 50% this person's opinion and 25% the public's opinion, it's not the public's opinion at all. So I think it's a nice influence, but also I think that your art piece is just one of the best ones. So I think it's got a really good shot at winning.
That's great.
Thank you.
I can't wait. I saw somebody in the, I'll call it the Stevosphere sharing that earlier today. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Art. on a carton. I wasn't sure. I didn't like really pay close attention to it. But now I know it is yours because I was impressed with that. I thought it was really cool and very, very carton-like. Like
Thank
good,
you.
almost like a throwback too. It reminds me of stuff that I would drink in 1992 or something.
I like, Rob, that you're scrolling and you see a post by this person, and you're just like, that was probably a SDSC game or something. post a iced tea carton.
It could be anything.
Seems like a pet project of Chris Bowers. That's fine. Yeah.
Because it was almost like it was one of those things where I was like, does that person do art? Oh, okay. Just keep scrolling. I don't know. Maybe they're a graphic designer and I didn't know they were. That's cool. Good on them, Jarret.
Brett, I 100% agree what you said about, like contests like that. And that's exactly why we're never really going to know what happened in the 2020 election.
Love it. Okay, so I guess for at least a chunk of my catch up, now I want to catch you guys up with an experience that I had when it came to a public art project that we ultimately wound up. Well, you have to wait and hear the story.
Oh boy.
So
on our Patreon.
So, Qdoba, Mexican restaurant, you may know it as the main competitor. As what the not so doing so hot competitor against Chipotle.
Although they introduced a smoked brisket, and it is. Mwah.
Oh, I love Qdoba. Go ahead, Jarret.
Can I tell you guys real quick that I got a friend who loves Qdoba, but he's told me that I am not allowed to tell anybody what his name is. He's Q Anon. So,
Oh, God damn it.
That is delightful. Finger guns. You're missing all the finger guns, Brett. I can see him.
he knows about it.
I could feel him.
Even with his eyes closed, he sees what's going on.
I can see him in my dreams. So my buddy, who he's a tech guy, he catches wind of this online contest that Qdoba was running via Facebook. And it was basically, hey, take a photo and just post it to the Qdoba page, and we'll pick the best one each week, and we will give you 10 free burritos. And a burrito is like any meal, could be a quesadilla, burrito, whatever. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then my buddy was like, dude, the first week there were like 2 submissions. Like, no one's submitting to this contest, but the contest is still going. We have to submit. I was like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, the best thing is that if we win one week, then we're in the finals. And the finals after the full 10 weeks just goes by like a social media, however many likes that you get. Whoever gets the most likes wins, check this out, 100 burritos and an iPad. And we're like, oh,
What?
totally doing this. Let's go. And all I had to do was take creative photos. So I'm just thinking my head off, and I'm coming up with all these like fun ideas. And so I'm taking a picture of I said, hey man, do we have to are we only allowed to win once? He says, you know what, per name, per submission, yes. But if we just keep on coming up with different names, different profiles, I'm sure we could win every week. And I was like, yeah, but 2 weeks were already up, okay? So we submit the next week. I have some banger idea. Boom, win. Next week, another fucking awesome idea. Boom, win. I did like a little Q photo mosaic. I was just taking a bunch of pictures around the city, and then I did a little Q photo mosaic. There was other ones that we just did like just cute stuff. I don't remember exactly, but suffice to say, we won the next 7 of the remaining contests.
Rob, that suitcase full of iPads that you have really makes a lot more sense now.
So we have 7 of the 10 entries into the finals, and so me and my friend, we go, okay, well, you have to think about this because we can't have our friends just voting for all of them. We have to pick one photo that we think should be the winner, and then we have to make sure that everybody piles onto that. We're like, all right, that sounds cool.
You don't want to split the vote.
So, exactly. Now we look up this other person who had the other front runner, it looked like, and then we came to notice very quickly that these 3 other people was in fact one other person. So of this entire Facebook contest, there are 2 competitors. Us with 7 wins and this person with 3. Because we were looking, we were just doing some Facebook stalking, and we were like, wait a minute, that's this person's best friend, and that's his wife. And we're like, it's all the same fucking person. they did what we did. So we were like, we got to beat this person for sure. So they had the exact same strategy we did. We're like, all right, we're trying to get likes. And we did a really good campaign. My buddy, his literal job was like in doing things just like this. This is how he came across it. In fact, he's kind of in the field of, coming up with quirky online things and blah, 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 whatever. So he was pretty good at getting the word out there. We were getting likes, dozens, hundreds of likes. And then we go to sleep one night, we wake up the next morning, and he has just easily surpassed us overnight. Like, we have like 397 likes, he just gets like 450. And we're like, oh my God, this is brutal. We like double our efforts. Come on, guys, we gotta whatever. Climb. And then again, like in an hour period, he just gets like another 200. And we're like, Jesus, what the fuck's going on? Then my friend goes like, we could like purchase likes. There's a thing you can do. You can just pay a certain amount. We can go into Fiverr, whatever. There's like ways in which they're just like, whether they're bots or whether they're real people, doesn't matter. Like, you want to give it a try? He's like, look, if we invest and we win, I mean, we get an iPad, we get 100 burritos. And I was like, yeah, all right, let's try it out. So we spend like $20 and then our likes go up by like 200 in a very short period of time. And then I looked at him, I was like, that's what he's doing. You realize that, right? And like, he's doing what we just did. Like, it happened the exact same way that he pulled ahead of us. So then there's a period of time where we're fucking just for USSR in America. I mean, just like it was insane. 200, 500, or like, should we put another 20? Yeah, another $20. Fuck it. And then at some point, we're like, I don't think that this is going to work. So what we did is that we contacted the guy who runs the contest, and we said, we are certain that we know what's happening here and that this guy is purchasing likes. We made ourselves sound pretty awesome, by the way. And so we're like, this is what happened. We were getting naturally, generated likes. And then we couldn't help but notice that this person in a very short period of time wound up getting a lot. We tested the theory, and it turned out that's exactly what happened. And we just wanted to bring it to your attention because we know that your whole thing here is to try to get more eyeballs on Qdoba, and that's obviously not happening with us, if this is going to be the way the contest goes. He thanks us for letting us know. He winds up, he says, you know what? We're just going to call the contest then. He's like, do you guys care, like, if you actually, like, win the thing or not? Does it matter to you? Because I think we're going to use the image. And we're like, honestly, if we can get an iPad and some burritos, like, we're totally fine with this. And they're like, well, he's currently ahead. So what do you guys want to do? We're like, give him the prize, say that he won, blah, blah, blah. He's like, we have an extra iPad. If you guys want the iPad, we can give you the iPad. And we're like, that's all we want. I don't give a shit. So we get the iPad, and I get fucking 100 free meals on top of the 70 that I won from the previous week's winnings. Woo! So, it was quite an experience.
I didn't think that story was going to go that way. I thought you were going to be like, and then the other guy won, and they didn't let us win because we came clean or something like that. Because essentially, what you're telling me is like, it's as if one of the Tour de France people was like, hey, listen, I've been doping, but I'm only doping because Lance Armstrong is doping.
To prove it's a sting operation that I told in no official capacity was I involved. Of my own accord, I did this.
And they're just like, listen, he's ahead by a lot, but do you want to win? Because you can win, or we could just pretend that he won.
We have a second trophy here. We can just get a second trophy. We got burritos coming out of our butthole. We don't give a shit. I'm proud of you, Rob. Way to game
Thanks,
the system,
buddy.
man.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways that it can be manipulated, but mostly I think that it's really hard to make judgment in this situation objective. That's like, even with the U.S. court system, it's like a fallible system. And so to do that in a contest where there's no real strict boundaries, there's no, legal terms laid out and all this, it's always going to be susceptible to bias. That's what I've noticed doing a lot of stand-up competitions, seeing a lot of art competitions. Something that it shouldn't really, it is subjective and it shouldn't really be an objective situation. It always turns into, I would say more often than not, the rightful winner, if you're going to look at how many people liked the thing from is not the rightful, is not the person who's chosen to win.
Mm-hmm. Something else that's been pointed out a lot is a lot of people have been like, also, I feel like graphic design competitions like this are kind of fucked up because there are people out there who like their job is graphic design. And instead of paying those people for the commission that they deserve, they're like, send us these for free. We'll give you $2,000 if you win. Like, it's a little bit fucked, but I want that cash.
We're going to get it for you, Leedy. The improv theater that I work at, the Magnet Theater, they would sometimes get agents to try to cast various commercials. But they would only ask improvisers to audition for these commercials if the commercials were not written and they wanted improvisers to, play around with this idea, It was so bad that at one point we all got called in the theater one day. They were like casting for a commercial. They didn't even have the concept done. They were like, all right, here's what we're looking for, guys. Write a bunch of stuff down. Come on in, show us the scenes. I was there. I hung out for like 20 or 30 minutes with my improviser friends, making fun of how dumb this was. And then I was like, fuck this bullshit. I hate this. Nobody in here is going to get cast in this thing. I guarantee you. And then nobody did. So spoiler right there.
Yeah, that would happen a lot. They'd have comedians and improvisers come in and, then they would just cast Samantha Bee, and you would see it. You'd be like, "That's the commercial. That's the line I said. I said that."
It's terrible.
And so, I mean, it's to the point. I haven't gone to commercial auditions for a while because of stuff like that. But it was to the point where I noticed that casting agents, something happened where casting directors would be like, they wouldn't say improvise or ad lib. Like
play around with the idea.
Yeah. Because they were like, somebody had made a stink about it. Thankfully, not enough in my opinion. But I think according to union rules, improvising is a skill that you have to pay for. But if you tell someone to play around with the idea, then, hey, whatever happens, happens, Yeah. Don't feel stuck to the script.
Sometimes they don't even have the product. You're just sitting there and you're like, it's ketchup and mayo in the same bottle?
And maybe? It's a car, I think.
Yeah, is that good?
Oh, you know what? Actually, do any of you have a camera?
A buddy of mine, his first big gig as an actor was this series of Burger King commercials, and he made a fortune doing it because the first one, you obviously you make a ton of money doing national commercials, but then it became a series. So he did like, I don't know, a dozen of these. He lived off that money for so long. And then I remember being at a storytelling show where there's a bunch of improvisers telling stories, and I can't remember if it was John Gemberling or Brett Gelman, who are both like big UCB theater comedians, told the story of improvising for that commercial. No. And all the like funny ideas they come up with. I didn't think any of them were in the actual commercial, but still, I was like, my buddy got that.
Can I do another not super related but kind of related catch up?
Of course.
No.
Look how much material we got generated from
just
the
first one. Yeah. There's no cap on your catch ups, Leedy.
Yeah. Great.
There's no cap on your catch ups. Sorry.
Mix it with some mayonnaise.
Well, this just reminded me, talking about all of that I just officially paid for my membership to Equity, so I'm joining Actors Equity.
Hey, congratulations!
Amazing. Congratulations!
Woohoo! Hope you like getting screeners.
I knew that, but I still felt like it would be weird if I didn't say congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Brett just goes to pee. I've heard this.
How many times do I have to congratulate you on this Equity thing? You guys know Matt Koff, really funny stand-up comedian, writes for The Daily Show. I think he was at Equity, and he got like free tickets to like all these Oscar movies one year. And I just remember him putting out a thing on Facebook being like, hey, I can go see a bunch of movies for free this week because of, Equity or whatever. Does anybody want to go see Tron Legacy with me? And I was like, I'll go see Tron Legacy with you. So me and Matt saw Tron Legacy for free because of his Equity or whatever.
Gus wrote in the chat, is this show a man-made lake? Because damn, I love it.
Ooh.
Lake, I see. I heard leg and I was confused.
We don't talk about lakes on the show. We talk about rivers.
Hey.
Hey. I like it. Finger guns. They didn't use your stuff in the commercial?
I know. Can you believe it?
I don't get it.
What if I look at the burger and I go,
I was cast in a Sheets commercial, and it was me and this improviser from Philly. And it was interesting.
boo,
Boo, boo, Philly.
You remember? We were doing a gig together, and it was like Sheets versus this other whatever the other one is.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I forgot what the other one was.
And then when you say you did a Sheets commercial, everyone was like, "Boo! You should have picked the other one to do a commercial for." Boo!
Yeah, they didn't like Sheets, so they were booing me doing a commercial for them. That was so funny.
What the hell's the other one?
Quick check.
Wahoo!
Wawa, probably. Right?
Wawa. That's it. Yeah.
So yeah, they liked Wawa, and I said Sheets. And then what did I say? I said some joke making fun of them. Oh, wow. I was like, that's the sound you guys make.
That's
More like
excellent.
wah. Rob, I loved it in the moment. I think I could have used one of these though. Afterwards. You know what I mean?
I remember in the audition, it was great because I was with somebody who was improvising okay. They were pretty quick, but they were just good enough to make me look great. So it was kind of fun. Like, they weren't so good that they were outshining me, and they were not bad enough where they couldn't like hang at all. And so I remember being in the audition being like, oh, that was cool. I looked pretty darn good there. And then I wound up getting cast in the thing. And then the person I was with was really funny. He does some sketch comedy I enjoy. He's a funny guy. We actually wound up doing 2 commercials and a radio spot. Over like the course of the next couple of years. And the commercial that we did, I remember we had a very tight script. It was a 30-second spot, and there was a lot of words in there. So the director was like, well, we do have to get the copy in because like the client's here and we want to make sure that that's it. He's like, but if we get the copy in, and then you guys have any ideas, you want to just riff on, go for it. So it was fun. We did like 25 takes. So after every take, I was just like coming up with variation of something different. So the concept of the commercial was that we're eating a burger, and the burger was supposed to be good, but it's like not just good tasting. It was like good as a person, like conscientious good. And so it was like, oh man, this burger's great. Like, yeah, this burger's really good. Like this burger, like, and then we would just think of things that a good person might do. And so some of the lines there were fine. And then I remember there was one, I had this dumb idea where I was like, if this burger won the lottery, it would like come back to its hometown and just like spread the wealth a little bit, He'd probably open up a rec center, and he wouldn't even like name it after himself. He'd probably just call it the rec center, And for some reason I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. He opens a rec center for the community, and he doesn't plaster his name on it. He just calls it the rec center. And so that tickled me. But we move on. We do a couple of other ones, and then the director's like, all right, there's just one more. Let's just do one more. And I'm like out of ideas. Like I don't remember. Like I'm like, I don't know, something. I've already said a bunch of shit. When I do the last thing again, I think of the rec center thing. So I just repeat roughly the rec center thing again. But then the other guy picks up on that I'm doing the same one, so he kind of knows where it's going. So I said, yeah, he'd probably like open up a rec center for the community. And then he was like, yeah, you know what you call it? And we were both like, the rec center. Right, exactly. It was like so perfect. The director was like, what the what? He wasn't like paying enough attention. Be like, how did you guys do that? I was like, no, I said it in an earlier take. I think he just picked up on it. He was like, oh man, that's. And then wound up getting in the commercial.
Man, like we're just really simpatico. You can have this magic on the day, Letting you know.
But that was shooting day. That was we were shooting it. And then it was in the commercial. So that little little magic thing was great. So that was a nice little moment.
Dope as hell.
Awesome. Jarret, anything you want to catch us up with?
Boy, howdy, do I. I got 2 things for you guys today. Number 1, let me tell you about all the editing that I have done for this little show, Is This Anything? The episode that goes out this Monday, done. Episode that goes out next Monday, done. Episode that goes out the Monday after that, done. Patreon episode for this month, done. Patreon episode for next month, done. If anybody ever tells you that people that do drugs can't be productive members of society, I want you to remember that the only time that we have been this far ahead in our editing schedule is when the person who does the most drugs and took over editing the show.
I thought you were going to say when the person who does the most drugs did the most drugs. Got all the editing.
I do have to make a counter argument.
Shoved a bunch of drugs in my mouth, and I got it all done. It looks terrible. They're going out at different times.
We previously had somebody who did the most drugs in charge of the editing, and we were the furthest behind we've ever done.
Well,
so
see, now
I
we
think it's
have
a personal.
now we have a better sample size for our data. You know,
Yeah.
before we were like, there's a correlation, but now we're like, maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah.
All right, so that's number one. Number two is, I know I've told Brett about this. I don't know if I've told Leedy and Rob about this, but I have this thing. It doesn't come up all the time, but it comes up every once in a while where I'll get an idea in my head to do something really big and dumb, and I just will have to do it, like no matter what. For example, I am a big fan of the city bike system here in New York. You can get points by distributing bikes around the city. And one time I only had one day to do all the points that I needed for that month. And even though it was really hard and dumb, I did it just because I was like, I have this goal, I'm going to do it. And so my goal right now, this really dumb, completely unnecessary goal, is that I have been seeing all these resources for learning how to code that are completely free. And I've also been seeing all these articles about how, because of staffing shortages, salaries for coders are going through the roof. And so I gave myself the extremely dumb goal of learning how to code well enough that I could get a part-time job doing some coding just to get a little extra money, you know? Don't need it, but I've always wanted to learn how to code. And I was like, this seems like a fun little thing, right?
Yeah.
So the one thing that I've seen in like a bunch of different videos is that Harvard's computer science class is completely free. And all these people who are like on TikTok being like, want to learn how to code? You can take Harvard's computer science class completely free. And it's a great beginner course, blah, blah, blah. I think, I could be wrong about this, but I think that after having done like the first 3 courses in this class, that it is the worst class that I have ever taken. There are so many things that I've had to sort of like figure out by myself, just like deductive reasoning, like, oh, okay, I guess if I put the brackets there, then that means this. And, oh, okay, I guess if you use this command, then that, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's as though this guy was trying to teach you how to build a house. And he's like, all right, houses. Okay, what do we know? Walls, plumbing.
What do we know?
Go crazy, you know? And then like the homework is like, you know, build a solarium. And you're like, do I know how to do that already? You know? And so I'd love to talk to somebody who also took this class and be like, did you feel like you missed 5 classes every time you had to do the homework? And he was like, and I would love to, because that's how I feel. I actually had like a little bit of a panic attack one night where I was like, I don't know how I'm expected to know how to do this based on the information that I've already been given.
I think that there was something, I can't remember the name of it, maybe one of our viewers will know, where it's designed like a game, basically, and you basically you're learning to code and then unlocking certain things. I heard people like raving about it. I think
was it on the phone or was it on the computer?
It's on the computer.
The one that I did was called Scratch. That's how I learned.
Ooh,
to
I did a little
code.
Scratch. Yeah, Scratch was fun.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind.
But I don't know. It could also be Code Monkey. That was our homework in 6th and 7th grade because my school was a freak and taught us coding in 6th grade.
That sounds awesome. Great. It's very progressive. Yeah.
I was so bad at it. I'm bad at problem solving as it is, but when you have to problem solve tiny little details that fuck up the entire thing, it's awful. I was so bad at it. And now I use it all the time for Twitch, so that's good.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad the story had a happy end.
Yeah.
Because I am so used to the digital age of like the business format for free things is you get the free thing. And then if you actually want to enjoy it and not spend all of your time unlocking or finishing it or completing it, or you have to then pay extra money. That's what I thought the Harvard class was going to be. It's going to be like, it's totally free, but if you want to learn how to do everything, it's an extra $4.99.
In-app purchases.
Yeah.
You have to watch this ad.
There are 10-minute chunks cut out at random intervals where really important information is conveyed throughout. It's bananas. There is a pay for option, but I think the only thing that you get with a pay for option is like the official certification. Like, you know, you're Harvard certified as a person who can code in C and C+ and JavaScript and stuff like that.
They give you a space bar. You're like, oh, thank God. Oh, that was so worth it.
So much harder without that. I was making it work. I was making it work, but it was difficult. But I'm getting my money's worth, man. There are a couple of homework assignments where they're like, do this if you feel like you have a really good handle of the information. But if you still feel like you're not all that with it, do this easier version, and we'll count that as like your homework assignment. And I'm doing both because I'm here to learn this shit. All right.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah, you're really getting your money's worth there.
I certainly am getting my money's worth. Jarret, no matter what you do with this course, you're getting your money's worth. So I threw my computer in the garbage. Got my money.
You're really getting your money's worth there.
Yeah. So if you've taken this course, hit me up because I'm really curious to see if you have the opposite opinion or if you also are like, yeah, this course is completely insane and they don't do a really great job of teaching you.
I mean,
that was the hot button with Jarret Bernstein.
That second catch up really reinforces the first catch up. That you can be a productive member of society and do a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
Like, I did so much editing. I am on top of it. Also, I learned to code.
I'm getting a part-time job as a coder.
Meanwhile, I'm not doing any drugs, and I am like, I can't motivate myself to get any editing done that I need to do, and I just keep playing video games.
You should try drugs.
I should try drugs.
You ever think about drugs?
Our cats are trying drugs right now because we're giving them a bit of CBD to see
Doing
if it
some
calms
Molly?
their Molly is what we're giving them. We're giving them a bit of CBD and no change in these cats high versus not. It makes zero sense. These cats are Jarret level normal. High and not.
Actually, they've learned to code, which is a little weird.
And they're like 10 episodes ahead on their podcast.
Yeah.
Podcast.
I like when people are like, I was like, oh, you ever give cats catnip? It's like drugs for cats. And I'm like, you could also give them drugs. Like if you want to get your cat high, people are just so like enamored with the fact that it's like drugs, and I'm like, so are drugs.
I think the difference is that drugs could damage the cat.
That's right.
Is the catnip not? I assume the catnip was definitely doing damage to the cat long term.
Oh, I don't think so.
Way.
THC can induce like regular seizures in cats and dogs. Which is why they have like special CBD for animals instead of just like, giving them edibles.
Do cats react to crack? Okay.
Only one way to find out.
2 podcasts.
These cats opened up a restaurant in Vegas. So you guys said that there's like no noticeable difference between on CBD and not on CBD?
I think they were a little bit sleepier that last night when we tried it. I mean, the cats are great. They just they want affection, but it takes them so much to muster up the courage. So we're just trying to curb that anxiety for them and see if they can just be a little bit more comfortable and less afraid of me making a sudden movement or moving a chair or something like that.
Well, I hope that they do. And relatedly, if you guys ever watch the show Drunk History, they did a Drunk History about the science experiment where this dude gave dolphins LSD and tried to teach them how to speak English. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. It's an insane story, and the Drunk History about it.
I've read about it, and it is insane.
Yeah.
All right.
The conclusion, by the way, is that they can't.
Damn it.
Spoiler.
The conclusion is they get super horny and then kill themselves. That's what happened. Should we get down to business?
Side note, though, because they didn't learn English.
Who wrote this really eloquent suicide note? I don't know, but it definitely wasn't these dolphins.
Why is it wet?
Yeah, something about I miss the ocean. Who could have written this? Anyways.
We got the ink from his octopus friend.
Rob, that's so cute. That's adorable. Makes me think of the Little Mermaid. They're all just down there playing calypso music, Here's some ink for your suicide note.
There's like a marlin just like doing it for him. Dipping it.
I would have also accepted narwhal. Anyways, are you guys ready to get this show started?
Oh, yeah.
Woohoo! All right, anybody want to guess what the order is going to be? Sound off in the chat. You got a couple seconds, but that's it. Sound off in the chat. What will be the order? Nobody knows except Jarret.
RJB.
Don't give him the answer. Come on, man.
Oh, I just it's a guess.
All right, doesn't look like we have any guesses.
No, but Savvy says Leedy looks great.
Leedy does look great.
Vowels.
Thank you, Savvy.
Our order this week is Jarret, Rob, Brett. Jarret, Rob, Brett. The order this week is Jarret, Rob, Brett.
All right, Jarret.
Take it away. All right. Here's my bit for this week.
Ooh, Dizzy said JRB, but also everybody's saying JRB after we said it. So I don't know if that counts.
But
All
since
right.
we didn't officially put an end to the contest, everybody gets an iPad.
Everybody gets an iPad.
Congratulations.
Okay, here's my bit for this week. One time, my apartment was under construction, so I subletted a room from this random guy for a month. And the first night that I went to spend in his room, in his apartment, I discovered him sleeping in the living room of his apartment, the one I just rented from him. I rented his room for a month, and he just lived in his living room then for that month. And it really threw me for a loop because that's not like against the rules or anything. It just felt wrong. You know, like walking a cat. It's the kind of thing that when it happens, you just go like, okay. It almost felt like I was cucking him. Like his kink was that, like watching people with just like a little bit more money sleep in his room. You know? All right, that's all I got. Thanks, Leedy. I appreciate
Sorry,
it.
that last part really made me happy.
Only Leedy liked the tag. So
I think it'd be one of the things that tips you off that he might be like a fetish for him is he actually offers to pay you a little money.
and then when I left, he was like, "You sure don't want to stay for a little bit more?" You know?
I'll give you a discount if my girlfriend stays in there with you.
I like this from his perspective where he has to like tell his friends, he's like, things aren't going great. I'm couch surfing for a month. My couch. But
It's more like a couch. What's the opposite of surfing? When are you stationary when you surf?
I don't know. You're doing like
Couch
Surfing lesson.
couch lazy river.
couch laser.
I was doing couch floaties.
I really
treading
like
water.
I really like that you guys liked the okay part, you know, because about like how it's in that gray area of weirdness where I'm not allowed to tell you no, but it also feels like you shouldn't be doing this. But what do you guys think? Any thoughts?
I think that I'm so much more curious and fascinated by this topic than maybe you're even giving me the information for. Like, like I'd be curious to know. Like, I'd probably go back to the original email and be like, did he say this? Like, am I in error here?
Nope, nothing in the email. I can tell you without even looking it up.
But that's something I would share with the audience, where I'd be like, just going through the thought process of like, I missed something here about this. Like, clearly this is weird, you know.
It would be funny. Could we think of a wording that's like, you know, and you will be staying in my room and I will be not in the room, you know, something like that. I don't know, where it's like, you know, it leaves the possibility open. It's vague legalese for I will be in the property somewhere.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like maybe he italicizes you will be in the room, like you. Like, looking back on the email, he did italicize you.
Where it's like, I will be leaving the room and then you will be staying in the room. The apartment contains a bathroom, room, and living room.
You're like trying to figure out the code.
Occupants unspecified. What about the cucking thing? I thought that would get a bigger laugh out of you guys, but maybe it's too much of a stretch, or maybe it's too on the nose.
I thought it was funny. It seemed like too much of a leap, and I think with Rob, I also was like, I was more interested in the first portion of this before moving on to this. Like, oh, what if? Like, I wanted to know more about this situation.
Yeah, I don't think I mentally left there yet. You know, I don't think I need to just be like, this is crazy. This is like another thing that's crazy, or this is this. For me, I'm so fascinated by exactly what I would think, what that does to me. You know, like, the first thing I would do would be like, what, did I miss something? Was I wrong here? And I checked, I wasn't wrong. This, you know, he didn't mention it. And then I would also think, this fucked me up forever. Now, every time I go to a hotel, I'm like, yeah, but where are you going to be?
That's excellent, Rob. That is excellent.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to know forever and always now the whereabouts of the cellar.
What if I call a hotel one day and they're like, you got me. Okay, all right. I'll be in my house. All right.
But the hotel
good.
concierge, they really don't like it when you follow up making a reservation with, but where are you staying? Where will you be sleeping? They don't like when you ask that.
Good. Thank you for that, Rob. Thank you for that gift. It's such a good tag. Oh, excellent.
Glad you like it. Yeah, it would fuck me up for like all the purchases I made. Every time I rent a car, I'm just like, but it's my car for the week, right? Like when I'm not driving, it's not our car.
No one's in the trunk or anything, right?
Do you have a spare set? Like where do you need to? Yeah, like you're just. Because like you thought that you understood transactions. Now, forever and always, you don't understand transactions.
That's a really good way to put it. Yeah.
Imagine you take out a city bike, and as soon as you're about to take off, somebody just sits on the handlebars, like, all right, here we go.
Oh, was it just you? And was this a 1-bedroom?
It was not. I mean, it was definitely like a little weirder than I'm making it out to be, because this was like a 4 or 5 bedroom apartment. Nobody knew each other. And I thought that it was like this dude, his roommates are going to be like, who's this guy? But I was just like, hey, I'm Jarret. And everyone's like, we don't care. Like nobody here knows each other, you know?
Right.
And so in that case, it's like, I guess this guy's like maybe like managing this property for like a leasing company or something and living on the couch. I have no fucking idea. Yeah, it was weird.
I had the situation with this place, but I know the person who lives here. He's my good friend. But then occasionally he'd be like, hey, I'm going to be back in the city. Like, could I crash on the couch? And the first time I was like, what are you talking? Of course, this is your place. Why would you not do that? But then it happened like 2 more times. And I was like, am I still paying you? Like, you're here. Because it's weird when I'm like, okay, good night. I'm going to your bedroom for sure. And you're sleeping on the couch, you know, but I'm not going to like deny him access to his room if he wants it.
All right. Anything else for this bit, y'all?
No, I think it's very funny though. It's a very funny situation.
Excellent. All right.
All right. People are upset, by the way, that they say that there's a delay and that that this isn't fair, that the system is rigged for guessing the order.
That is extremely funny. All right. Who's up next?
Rob is next. It was JRB, wasn't it?
Rob Ryan.
Hey, all right.
Ryan.
I'll say this to start off. I like how political cartoons back in the day were just a collection of racist doodles. I mean, it was funny. They're like, these are political. I'm like, you just drew a Jew with like a big nose. So I was like, is this politics? I don't understand.
Political cartoons back then are now current, like drawings on desks in middle school.
It's political commentary.
Because he's Italian. You see, it's a commentary.
Imagine going into a KKK meeting and being like, "Oh, politics." Ooh. So
boring. Yeah, you know, my only concern with this joke is that it feels a little too niche. Like I don't know if old political cartoons is something that's really front of mind with a lot of people. I remember learning about this when I saw this book of like the Dr. Seuss political cartoons that he did back in the day. He's like, you know, anti-Nazi, but also anti-Japan. And so it's, you know, it's not great.
Do you think it would work if Rob just explained that? You know, like I was looking at some old political cartoons, and back then, turns out they were just racist cartoons. That was political cartoons back then. And then I would like to hear what do you think? What do you think political cartoons will be maybe in the future, or you know how will things change where we're like, oh, that's really funny.
Yeah, racist memes now.
Yeah. My thought was that. Because like people still do political cartoons, which is weird. Like, you know, you open up a newspaper and there's people still like try their hand at it. I'm like, what do you do? I don't understand why this is still a thing that we do. But you're right, memes are like the closest analog to it today, where it's dumb. It doesn't like, I guess it gets a point across sometimes. You're just like, what was this? So it's funny to me more to think that even back then people just wouldn't read like the article that's like right there. They're like, nah, I'm gonna try to see this in picture form, you know. I want to know what I want to be told what to think, you know, with a cartoon. Yeah, I'm not sure if I don't know if it's too niche. I don't think that would be my concern, but I'll certainly find out. I can just try it in front of crowds and just see who likes it, who doesn't like it.
I mean, I don't even. It's not something like I don't know if it's something I knew before you said that, but when you said that, I was just like, That sounds right to me. I just I inferred it, and it was still kind of funny to me.
Hold on a second. I want to hedge my bets here. I could be wrong. Now I'm gonna look like a genius either way.
Didn't you say that last episode? Or
when we had Rivers on and we were sort of like going through what are all the contributions that we had. I was like, I told you that I didn't think that Kanye thing was going to work. And then I said I could be wrong. And I was. So
never miss.
100% success rate.
I like the idea of just them as if you can heighten racist situations and then call it politics. You know, the burning cross on the lawn. Not politics.
Political commentary.
Yeah, or like a 7th grader like drawing a dick on a. Oh, I don't. Your son's getting awfully political.
This is obviously a commentary on the Carter administration, you know.
All right, I thought of a dumb thing that I wouldn't personally use, but I was coming up with some. If you came out with an album that was called like Censored, but then like there's a picture, it's a picture of you on stage, but the microphone is blurred out. That was it. That was the only idea.
And it's filthy.
It just made me laugh. I don't know. It's just like the mic. Oh, we can't see this.
What if it just censors your shoes?
Thought of another stupid thing. I was like, I have imposter syndrome. Oh no, wait, AIDS. I have AIDS. That was a dumb thing I thought of earlier today.
What?
Well, I like when people like they give themselves syndromes and things. I have imposter syndrome. It's like a big name for a thing. So it's like, it was like, or it's just like a horrible disease that could kill you.
Is AIDS a syndrome also? Is that what the S stands for at the end of AIDS?
Autoimmune deficiency syndrome.
Yeah, it's also a syndrome.
I thought maybe I wasn't sure in the joke if then you don't have AIDS and you just
maybe yeah, that makes more sense too. Like whatever. Like what I'm saying is just completely stupid, nonsensical. Other than the fact that people are just like, I have imposter syndrome. Like it's not going to be bad. It's a bad thing. It's like I'm like 25. I started at a job and I don't know if I'm really good at it yet. You're like, oh great. Who cares? And then so you're like, I have imposter syndrome. No, wait, I'm sorry. It was AIDS. I have autoimmune deficiency syndrome. That was a syndrome I have. Or it'd be two different people. One person's like, I have imposter syndrome. Like, oh, I have AIDS.
This is kind of dumb, but what if you did this on stage? You're like, I have imposter syndrome. Then you pointed at someone in the audience, then you were like, what's your name? And then they tell you, and you go, that's me.
What if you have clinical imposter syndrome?
Yeah,
I don't know. How does that change it, though?
I actually am not what I think I am.
It would be.
A doctor has said that I am clinically not a comedian.
Yeah.
I'm not
a doctor. He came to my work and he was like, "You do not deserve to be here." 100%.
There is. That is something funny. Like to try to, if the doctor just told you like, no, you're not a good, coder or something like that, you're like, damn it.
I'm trying really hard, Rob. Come on, man. That's the example you use? Jesus.
You don't have imposters. You actually seem very confident.
Oh, no, I'm really bad at it so far. But, I'm learning.
Yeah. So those are some of the ideas I had today. I don't think I'm going to do more than 3.
Well, those were fun ones.
They were great. I really like the imposter syndrome. I thought we got to a good place with that. In that case,
next up is me. But before we get to me, Jarret
Berenstein's going again. Okay. So, guys, have you ever been watching Is This Anything? And you're like, I need a little bit more.
No.
Well, in that case, Truck.
But I can't speak for the people at home. I'm sure there are plenty of people who say yes.
If you said yes when I asked that question, you got to check out the Patreon. Hottest Patreon in town, patreon.com/ITApod. The best exclusive episodes, all the live shows, additional dope ass tiers. You could get your name read on the show, and we don't do that for anybody who isn't a stand-up comedian that we work with. Patreon.com/ITApod. And next up, we got a Truck.
All right. Every time one of my progressive friends explains something to me in power dynamics, I'm like, you better keep this Dragon Ball Z analogy going, or I'm going to lose focus completely. I want to hear, and that's why Ukraine has to go Super Saiyan.
I love it. I don't know enough about this universe to tag it though. So, but I really like
was
it.
thinking I might do the MCU as the like I need that, but it just does. Dragon Ball Z seems it's so specific to power dynamics, and I don't, and I just it just made me laugh more, even though I know it would hit less of an audience.
Is Goku in Dragon Ball Z?
Yes.
That I think Goku is also like a really funny name to throw into a joke.
Yes, definitely.
Got a really good comedy K in there.
Yeah.
Is power dynamics like used in the Dragon Ball Z universe, like those words specifically?
Dragon Ball Z and a lot of animes ultimately like you can boil them down to a soap opera of who is more powerful. It's just like, oh, he's so strong. He's so terrible, but then this person comes along and now they're so strong. So this person has to train in the time capsule where time moves slower so that they can come back and be stronger. And then they're so powerful, and then they unlock this power. And that is all of Dragon Ball Z.
Got it.
I feel like there's a little bit of that in the first Avengers movie, and there's definitely like people talk about that when they talk about the Avengers. They're like, well, but think about like Captain Marvel. Like she almost took Thanos out. Like she was strong, and then like she almost had it. Well, Thor, this person beat this person. So there is some of that like power dynamics, and I love that in the first Avengers is how afraid everybody seemed of Bruce Banner being unleashed. I really enjoyed that. So I think that is funny, but it's not as relatable, unfortunately, to do the Dragon Ball Z thing.
Yeah, it's more the phrasing for me. Like, I am familiar with the thing that you're talking about when it comes to the superhero movies, but I just don't hear that wording, like, ever said when it comes to... I've never come across it personally, be like, oh, power dynamics. But if I don't know. If
you hear the word power, I'm sure.
Sure.
Like, it's about power. And so to me, that's really what the joke is that we're constantly like, well, yeah, but the reason that it's racist is because of the power dynamics, and then what's funny to me is like we're also like doing that in comic book things.
Okay,
Very silly crossover.
Got it. The way you told the joke, I thought it was more of a turn of phrase, and that phrase definitely hinged on power dynamics specifically.
Okay.
But if it's just turning on the concept and the idea, then yeah, I think that this could totally work. It would have to be more like, I like the idea of like needing it to be explained in terms that you can understand. And then the more of an analogy that you can come up with, I think it'd be really fun to dive into that. Be like, oh, so it's almost like, women without rights is like when Captain America doesn't have his shield, but Thor does have his hammer. But if we gave them the ability to, then it's like he has the shield, but I don't know. Something like that I would be tickled by seeing like Brett finally understanding,
Sure,
racial inequity or something because of like how strong the Hulk is.
Can I ask, would it work in terms of Marvel if I were to say, so white men are like Thanos?
Yeah, I think it works.
Yeah.
I like
But
that.
that would definitely, everybody knows, I mean, that's much more recognizable as Thanos.
I don't know. I don't know if I was willing to give you the benefit of the doubt when you were like power dynamics in Dragon Ball Z, because I don't watch Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
But as a person who's watched like all the Marvel stuff, if you just do that setup about power dynamics or power levels and you said you got to keep this superhero conversation going, I'm not sure if I would have gone on that journey with you.
Okay, gotcha.
But I could be wrong.
No, I think that's a good note. I probably will stick to the Dragon Ball Z reference.
Yeah. But now I am thinking like if white men are Thanos, it's like, but Thanos becomes more powerful because he has the gauntlet of the media and jobs and money, right? Institutional
Gas prices.
But yeah, I think I think going into the specifics will be a fun way to flesh that joke out. And for anybody who actually recognizes it, they will enjoy it. For anybody who doesn't, they'll be able to infer it and hopefully enjoy it as well.
So Star-Lord was able to survive at the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy because he shared the vote stone with a bunch of different people.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys. That's it for me. Leedy, is it time to do some drawings and show them to our audience? You are hosted, or you need to be hosted?
I need to be hosted.
Oh.
And
I like
then,
that.
yes,
Leedy's gotta get that hosting so she can show us the mosting of her artistic talent. She's gonna show it. She's the best. Leedy Corbin, here she goes.
Yeah. I like how your song started off as a question. You're like, is it time for... We don't know.
Brett and I have a running joke of us making silly little songs, and then we go, we should write a musical.
They're usually really bad.
Yeah, they're terrible.
What? Don't believe.
All right. So today I did all animations, which took me a bit long. So there's
Ooh.
only 3.
All
And Here
right.
we go.
all right.
Okay.
Oh wait, they're not all animations. I lied. Wah wah.
Wah, wah.
I'm your river, little bitch. Sheets rule. And then I have. So, what do you want your loved ones to know? Like, what a cool world or something along those lines? I love you, man.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's so cute. The fish has a pencil, but the ink is provided by the octopus.
I forgot to describe. The first drawing was a
Oh,
wah
yeah.
wah with an X through it, then a baby crying and saying wah wah. The second drawing is, I'm sorry, the first one was an animation. The second one is a bunch of sea creatures helping a dolphin write a suicide note. And it is adorable.
It's like the dolphin is sad because he can't write his own suicide note. So you got like a puffer fish, like actually writing it out for him. That's adorable.
Oh, wait, I just thought of a 6 feet under the sea. Okay.
And last but not least, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you're not gonna fool me again.
Wow. There's a lot there,
All right.
Leedy.
There is
There's a lot
a
there.
lot going on.
Layers
Yeah.
on layers on layers.
All right, we got a close up of George Bush stumbling. Then he follows it with "Is that anything?" It zooms out. It's me, Rob, and Jarret giving our opinions on whether that is something or not. Excellent, amazing. Thank you so much, Leedy.
And just to be
Leedy
clear,
Corbin.
Cartoon Brett and Rob liked the joke. Jarret didn't because they thought he could have used a little more finger guns.
Little finger guns. Throw
Down
some
with the
finger
finger
guns
guns.
there, buddy.
He's so angry too. No, he could have used a bit of.
And that is it for me.
Awesome.
Leedy Corbin. Where can they find you?
You can find me on all the socials under Leedy Corbin. You can go to Turner Dairy Farms to like the post with my art to help me win, or for 25% of the vote to help me win. But really, they're going to do whatever they want. You can join my Patreon, which would be really cool. It's Patreon/Leedy Corbin.
Outro goes here. Thanks so much for watching. Check back every Monday for new episodes, or you can listen wherever you enjoy podcasts. If you want to help support the show, tell your friends how much you like Is This Anything? Or get involved, like an episode, share, comment, subscribe. If you want more Is This Anything, you gotta join our Patreon at patreon.com/ITAPod. We have a ton of awesome exclusive content on there, and you can join for as little as $1 a month. Check out the links in the description, and hopefully we'll see you next week.